Let's talk about it. This book, this era, this saga, this series, whatever it is, Mistborn as a whole, has been one of the best literary journeys I have ever been on. I am different. I'm a different man than the one who started this, and I think I'm better for it. I think I'm better for it. So as an actor, we are supposed to, the job of an actor is to move an audience, right? Whether they hate you, whether they love you, you succeeded both ways. And so much of that emotional investment, it comes from the characters. If you don't care about the characters, then you're not going to care what happens to them, right? And Brandon Sanderson has written some of the best characters I have ever experienced in any medium. And in Mistborn specifically, in both eras, just absolutely incredible storytelling. But The Lost Metal, this book, I don't even know how to talk about this. Like, the characters, like, the humor, obviously, Wayne, right? He's the heart of the whole era too, really. And in this one, he really gets kind of the layers peeled back and gets really put through the ringer. And, like, I loved that the book started with him as a kid and his mom telling him stories, and then he's helping tell the story, and then it ends with him, you know, being the hero. Just, it's perfect. It's perfect. And I thought it was really interesting, the fact that, like, Wax was very clearly, you know, the main hero guy, the archetype, you know, of the first three books, and Wayne was like his partner or his sidekick or something, but like the quintessential hero was always Wax. And in this book, he was straight up retired. He was having a family and just being cool, and then Wayne was like now with Marcy and that whole thing, but Telson's still involved. Sazed brings him back. Just what a ride this was. And it kept evolving. And then Marsh showing up, and then Marsh is a part of it. And just, it was so good. It was so, and like all the stuff with Bilming, and then the Ghost Bloods showing up, and then Kelsier's still around, and like it opened up the Cosmere more, and like different magic types and stuff like that was cool, but it still felt intimate. And the people that were kidnapped in the beginning of the first book are still around. They were just like held prisoner essentially and told that the world ended. Like that, just the craziness. But I loved the kind of growth of all the characters. I love the arcs of Wayne being, you know, so traumatized by what he did as a kid that he can't even touch a gun or even a bullet without, you know, getting jittery. And Wax, you know, being this kind of badass sort of dude that's like, actually, I'm kind of tired. And Steris's arc. And Marcy and Milan, like all of them is just so good. And so different, but also the same as Era 1. You know what I mean? Because I adored Era 1. Like, Era 1 is one of the greatest trilogies I've ever read, by far. I think that I will ever experience in any medium. It's so good. And I was like, how are we going to do this? And I love that the world had evolved, but was still the same. The fact that Allomancy still worked the same, but there was, like, more metals and more powers. Like, it was so cool. And, you know, I've talked about it before, the idea that the small influences the large and the large does not negate the small, is very cool and something that I really, really appreciate. The fact that I read this after Emperor's Soul and after Elantris, thank you all for recommending that order to me, because I was able to pick up on Shai and I was able to pick up on Kaze and like, like I see why people put this in this order. And I'm grateful for that because it just enhanced my experience as well. I cannot imagine people who read Stormlight in between these. Just, I couldn't do it. And I mean, some of the moments in this, like, for the rest of my life, I will remember the part where they're in the graveyard and Marcy, I think this was from the last book. That's the other thing, is these all kind of blend together for me. Like, Era 1 is its own thing, Era 2 is its own thing. Like, it all happened because, you know, back to back. When it was like, when they were in the graveyard and there were like 5 guys left and Marcy was like, do you think you could take him? And he said, does a man who has no hands have itchy balls? Gold. Perfect. I'm gonna use that. That's so good. I love the fact that, you know, Sazed is a god now, but it's like a tumultuous relationship between him and Wax, and that reconciliation, and just everything about these books were so good. They were so good. My favorite characters from the beginning were always, you know, Kelsier, Tindwyl, Sazed, and then Ellen, Finn, blah, 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 and it just keeps going, because I genuinely love all of the characters. For this one, I mean, Wayne's the guy, right? Like, I love Wax. Wax is a badass. But Wayne is just so layered and, like, beautiful and human, you know? Wayne's the best. But also, Marisy's awesome. Steris is awesome. Renette is great. Even the, like, minor characters. Tinsoon is still around. I love that. Marsh is still around. I love that. Like, very interesting. I like books that have characters that I really care about. I like books that kind of make me think, even if it does make me angry sometimes, that I'm thinking, I'm like, why isn't it this? Like, I'm for it. I want to feel something. And if you watched my immediate reaction to Wayne's sacrifice last night, you know these books have made me feel a lot. And, like, that is such a gift, you know, to experience a story that gives you that level of emotion. It's magic. It's magic. I love it. I am so glad that I started reading these. I'm so glad that so many of you have been here with me for this journey. I mean, I just started this in January. It was 2 months yesterday that I posted my first book, just asking about, because I just finished Mistborn, and then this thing took off. And it's just been so cool to have this, and everyone, you know, taking care of spoilers for me and interacting with me on this. It's been very cool. Like, I've had a great time, and I'm very appreciative to live in a time where I could experience these stories, and that there's more coming, and that makes me nervous and excited, which are the two main emotions I feel all the time when reading these books. But I loved it. I loved Era 2. I love Era 1. Yeah, these characters are fantastic, and it was just the perfect ending. Brandon Sanderson, that dude knows how to stick the landing, because Hero of Ages is the perfect ending to that trilogy. And this was the same. I don't know how he does it, especially with characters as complex and worlds as complex as this. Like, this one, I will say, felt less of an, like, ending. You know, this was like, because we got open to the Cosmere and the other things, like, there's a lot of stuff also happening outside of Scadrial that's pressing and important. You're like, okay, cool, so, like, this is the end of that chapter thing here. But there's still a lot going on. So I like the world building that he has there. Whereas in Era 1, it did not feel like that. Era 1 felt like the end. We did it. Like, if he had never written another Mistborn book after Era 1, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I mean, he finished it. It was done. I'm glad he did keep reading, because this was awesome. But yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. This journey was awesome. I'm for sure getting a Mistborn tattoo. I've decided. I know what it's going to be. I will let you guys determine whether I tell you or not. So, yeah. Should I wait? Should I leave that as a secret? Because there's always another secret. Should I wait for a reveal once I get it? You know what? I'm probably going to do that. What am I saying? There's always another secret. It was right there. I didn't even mean that. I didn't even mean to do that. And yeah, so I'm going to keep that a secret. But I'm for sure getting a Mistborn tattoo to commemorate this journey. And also, let me know what I should read next. Because there's still the Allomancer Jack story. There's still another story that I'm forgetting right now in Arcanum Unbounded. The short stories, I can knock those out. Right now, Warbreaker is next. Should I read some short stories before Warbreaker? Or should I read Warbreaker and then the short stories? Because I'm knocking all that out, and then we're doing the Stormlight Archive. So, yeah. Let me know. This was great. I loved it. I'm so glad to be on this journey. I'm so glad you were on this journey with me. And, whew, what a ride.